Hi, I'm Professor Joanna Lewis, and I'll be teaching Climate Science and Policy this spring. Climate change is one of the greatest international policy challenges of our time. And climate change is really not just an environmental issue, it's an economic issue. It's an issue about changing technological systems and particularly energy systems. So what we do in this class is look at climate change from a multifaceted approach. And this course provides a thorough overview of all of the main issues related to climate change. I will provide students with a solid scientific foundation for understanding the scientific basis for climate change. And then we will look at the economics of acting versus not acting on climate change, as well as domestic and international policy options. The goal of this course is to provide students with a comprehensive look at climate change science and policy using tools from a variety of disciplines, including international law, energy systems and policy, and atmospheric and environmental science, as well as economics. I think climate change is something that all students of international affairs should understand and should be prepared to address in their careers. This is now no longer a niche issue. Climate change is at the core policy agenda of most countries around the world. So students who are interested in understanding how different countries around the world are approaching the climate change problem, whether it's about how they are transforming their energy systems, how countries like China are debating whether or not to act on climate change as the largest emitter around the world, how small island nations are addressing the impacts of climate change, including sea level rise. I think if you're interested in working internationally, having some understanding of climate change will be extremely important going forward in your careers. On the core faculty at the School of Foreign Service, I'm based within the Science, Technology, and International Affairs program, and all of my research in some way or another has to do with climate change. Most of my work is based in China, and I look at how China is transforming to low-carbon economies. So much of the cases we will look at in this class builds on my own research experience. I also advise the U.S. government related to their climate change policy, including the State Department and the Department of Energy. And before coming to Georgetown, I worked with the Pew Center on Global Climate Change, helping to work with negotiators from around the world who were engaged in the UN climate change negotiations. I've attended many UN negotiations and I'm still following these processes very closely. And so much of my own work experience will directly feed into the examples that we discuss in this class. I teach this course a combination of lecture and seminar discussion, and we will have a variety of short writing assignments as well as a few exams, both in class and take home. The course culminates in what I think is a really fun activity that students enjoy, which is a simulation of the United Nations climate change negotiations. The topic of the simulation changes every year to reflect the real developments in the UN negotiations that are happening right now. So students in this course will be assigned to country positions, and during the end of the semester we will actively engage in a simulation activity, which I think provides a really interesting look at how different countries approach the climate change issue and the different dimensions that different countries are struggling with as relates to climate change policy decisions.